Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Let's take a look at the headlines. Safe Labor Day wishes from the government. Newly renovated Central Sterile Supplies Department at the Mount Hope Women's Hospital. And new measures aimed at reducing abuse of the TT card system. Thank you for joining us. To our top story, members of the labour force are being told to have a safe Labour Day in Faizabad on Wednesday. The wishes were extended on behalf of the government.
While hundreds will march across Faizabad, the birthplace of the labour movement, on Wednesday, in commemoration of Labour Day, the government is wishing members of the workforce a successful day. Speaking in the Chaguanas West constituency, Minister of National Diversity and Social Integration, Mr. Clifton Decoto, extended wishes on behalf of Labour Minister Errol McLeod and the rest of the cabinet.
I stand here tonight to congratulate the labour unions and to wish them on behalf of this government a very successful Labour Day celebration.
He notes that government remains committed to ensuring fair and equitable negotiations continue with the labour force.
Through this government, they could celebrate. This government, under the leadership of Kamla Prasad Bisesa and a Labour Minister, Errol McLeod, were able to settle 66 out of 75 negotiations.
Meanwhile, the minister wished the labour unions a safe, happy Labour Day.
Let them celebrate, and we say congratulations to the labour movement for labouring in the vineyard. And we will continue to encourage the social dialogue, to support them and let them move from strength to strength. My brothers and sisters, again, on behalf of the Minister of Labour and our esteemed Prime Minister, we wish them happy Labour Day.
Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
To other news, Health Minister Dr. The Honourable Fuad Khan recently opened the renovated Central Sterile Supplies Department at the Mount Hope Women's Hospital. Restoration was completed within 21 days.
A brand new sterilising unit has been installed at the Mount Hope Women's Hospital. The Central Sterile Supplies Department revolves around cleaning, disinfecting and sterilising medical devices and equipment following use in operating theatres and wards. Complete restoration was done in just 21 days as compared to the 80 days originally estimated for completion. Contractor charged with undertaking the process, Anthony Seapol of Biomedical Technologies Limited, says the project was done according to international standards.
This was a project that actually was earmarked for 90 days, but because of the help of the Ministry of Health and the staff at the Mount Hope Maternity, we got it done in 26 days. And bringing a system to international accreditation from the EU and the American standards.
The CSSD plays a critical role in any health institution for proper care and treatment of patients. Health Minister Dr. Fuad Khan was on hand together with Chairperson of the North Central Regional Health Authority, Dr. Shehnaz Mohammed. Commissioning the department, Minister Khan indicated that good sterilisation practices were essential for the removing of harmful bacteria and needed for the control and prevention and spread of infections. Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
Minister of the People and Social Development, Dr. The Honourable Glenn Ramadan Singh, says a review of the TT card program has implemented new measures once again aimed at reducing an abuse of the system. Speaking at a press conference, the minister says criteria for accessing the grant is conducted systematically, and so far over 2,000 persons have voluntarily relinquished the cards once their financial situation has improved.
Minister of the People and Social Development, Dr. Glenn Ramadan Singh, is clearing the air on reports surrounding the distribution of TT cards via truck in recent weeks. During a press conference, the minister laid out the criteria for assessing the cards through the ministry, stating that proper assessments must be conducted by members of staff before the cards can be granted.
NIS documents should be provided with a card within 30 days. All files were set out for review between 3 to 6 months. As officers returned from the field and completed reports, documents were attached and the file passed to Mr. Lord or Mrs. Sandy for vetting. 3 lists were generated, one for the recommended clients, one for the not recommended clients, and a miscellaneous listing which encompassed clients for whom a means test score could not be generated for various reasons. For example, unavailability of the client for interview, failure to supply the minimum required documents.
He assures that a process, while rigorous, ensures that persons do not take advantage of the system.
Persons assessed in the second phase, 244, 177 recommended, 24 not recommended. 53 were miscellaneous for further investigation. The hampers given out at the second phase, 75. TFCs on hand, 200. Again, 3 was given out. We are proud of the work of the TT card program. They have done exceptional. We now have, of our 40,000 clients, 6,000 who did not belong were removed, and 12,000 persons were included on the program who needed sustenance and food, who were deemed indigent or unable to provide food properly for their clients.
Minister Ramadas Singh says persons are unable to move away from dependence on the cards through the Rise Up program, which offers training for clients looking for a way towards self-sustenance. However, he notes that a recent review of the program will ensure equitable distribution of funds to all citizens.
We are looking at the economic situation and how we can have better equity with some of these cases. But what I can tell you is that we factored into the last finance bill that no one will get less than 3,000, because there were some persons who, because of certain idiosyncrasies, would have gotten less than 3,000 because they were getting some little pension from an organization that was defunct. And there were some arbitrary cases, but we put that into the law that no, even if the calculation was that you get less than 3,000, you get a minimum of 3,000. So there's a baseline protection there. But it will something that will continually to be under review.
Meanwhile, the minister is calling for the collaboration with religious organizations for the establishing of more senior citizen centers across the country. He says this is one of the ways the ministry is seeking to provide comfortable living to this sector of our society.
We've decided to partner with the IRO and the religious groups for them to build rooms within their temples and mosques and churches, and we will outfit it so that we will be able to do 10 times the amount of activity centers and in many more parts of the country than what exists.
Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
When we come back, social workers in secondary schools. Stay with us. Welcome back to our News 4 report. There are plans to place school social workers in secondary schools throughout Trinidad and Tobago. This is the announcement being made by Minister of Education, Dr. the Honorable Tim Gopi Singh, at a parliamentary sitting.
Over 700 jobs will be made available as the government seeks to ensure students are given the necessary support at school. Education Minister Dr. Tim Gopi Singh says the Cabinet has decided to re-evaluate the support system available for students at schools throughout the country. He says this led to the creation of more than 15 new positions, which he believes are necessary in the nation's schools.
273 guidance counselors positions, now 148 school social workers, 7 senior school social workers, 14 behavioral specialists, 14 clinical psychologists, 14 school psychologists, 1 inclusive education specialist, 7 diagnostic specialists, 1 coordinator education diagnostic prescriptive services, 1 coordinator guidance and counseling, and 1 manager for the entire situation. We also have 45 senior special education personnel, 148 on the establishment now for special education instructors, 68 special education teacher aides, and 33 interpreter assistants, 4 Braille technicians, and 3 Braille conversion operators, now making a total of 782 positions, which will be in the Ministry of Education.
Minister Gopi Singh explains the 17 new positions will assist in addressing numerous issues, including dysfunctional behavior and career guidance.
To ensure that the support services for the students which are required, in particularly our secondary schools and to a lesser extent in our primary schools, are adequately dealt with and the students are supported in the prevention of dysfunctionalities and in their behaviors and possible elimination of these delinquent behaviors in the schools, in addition to ensuring some degree of career guidance for our students.
Minister Gopi Singh says there are still almost 400 of the new positions vacant. He believes they will be filled before the commencement of the 2013-2014 academic year. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
It was a fun day of health, education and activities as the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure's annual 5K Walk Run 2013 took place at the Queen's Park, Savannah, Port of Spain.
The Ministry's EHS Environment, Health and Safety Unit again staged its major outreach event of its annual HSE Health, Safety and Environment 5K Walk and Run. The event is always scheduled close to World Environment Day, June 5th.
Health and wellness, of course, is one of the greatest gifts we can give to ourselves, and in the process we can set examples for others about the importance of great physical health. I want to thank all those who organized the function, to thank the PS for his support, and to thank PS Cooper for his presence again here this year. I understand he joins us with his family every year for the event. And also to wish everyone who's taking part a success. Without you, we would not have a beautiful program like this.
There was also an aerobic warm-up before the start of the race. Then it was time for the race to begin. The HSE is divided into 2 categories, the competitive 5K race and the non-competitive Savannah Walk and Run, with the start-finish line at the Queen's Park Savannah ground, opposite BPTT building.
Just coming across the line first. In a time of 15 minutes and 38 seconds, then followed by Lionel Danraj, 2 Guyanese. In a time of 15 minutes and 50 seconds.
Dr. Surudratan Rampachan, Minister of Works and Infrastructure, was also seen participating in the non-competitive Savannah Walk and Run. At the completion of the event, prizes in the form of unit trust certificates and trophies was distributed for the competitive run, according to age categories. All finishers of both categories received a medal upon completion of the walk and run. Prior to the start of the event, T-shirts was also distributed to the first 500 registered applicants. Joseph Lopez, News 4.
When we come back, new football boss Raymond Timke gets into stride. Stay with us. After a slow start, new football boss Raymond Timke is getting into stride as he continues to ring in the changes for a new and improved governing body. Hot on the heels from appointing a general secretary and reverting to the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association name, a new logo is unveiled. expected to bring a visual identity showing colors and imagery symbolic to the Twin Islands state that pays homage to Trinidad and Tobago's historic past and creates a contemporary look and feel for the future. According to TTFA Media, among the changes fans will see are uniforms that portray a coherent theme with consistent use of TNT's red, white and black across a wide range of platforms from apparel and merchandise to signage and advertising. However, one significant element will not be altered, the iconic mark of the two islands that we represent as one nation. In other sporting news, the Ministry of Sport is going full speed ahead with its drive for an active and fitter Trinidad and Tobago. Obesity is described as rampant, and the ministry is determined to do its part in providing avenues to reverse this trend. Hence, its partnership with the Bodybuilders and Fitness Federation of Trinidad and Tobago. Here is more on that partnership in this Wayne Cunningham report.
The Ministry of Sport continues to develop partnerships which are geared towards participation in sport for all. Physical Education and Sports Officer at the Ministry, Gabriel McTair, told us about one of those partnerships.
The Trinidad and Tobago Bodybuilders Federation is one of the national governing bodies, and the national governing body related to bodybuilding and fitness in Trinidad and Tobago. As a result, all national governing bodies that are affiliated to the Ministry of Sport receive some element of funding during the year, as we call subvention funding, that allows them to be able to take a developmental role in sport, and of course in terms of making sure that opportunities are there for people to show their wares and show what it is they have been doing and training for over the year and years that they have been partaking in their sport.
Exactly what does the ministry bring to the table when it comes to bodybuilding and fitness?
A lot of the work we try to push through the NGBs, national governing bodies that is, but also we have amongst our staff physical education and sport officer ones and sport development officers, whose role it is to have sport and physical activity an essential part of community and community development.
Mr. McTair revealed that the scope of the program is wide-ranging.
We also have coaches that are linked to schools and communities as well, that help to provide programs that allow people the opportunity to be able to develop in their sport and at least recreate somewhat in their sport. And between those two elements of the ministry, we do get a lot of programs done in communities, in schools, to ensure that people, as we say, to ensure that total participation in sport, so that people of all ages, of all races, genders, etc., have the opportunities to be able to participate to the fullest, get fit, look good, feel good about themselves, and of course make sure that their health stays in a particular order.
As CEO of CLX Fitness Center and a former bodybuilder himself, Lee Beatrice has a major interest in the fitness of the nation, and he explained why more attention is needed in this area.
Part of it too is our culture. We like to eat and drink and so forth, and sometimes too, the choices that we make as a people sometimes is the wrong choice, right? You know, everybody like to eat the doubles and the roti and whatever have you, but sometimes too, even become more health conscious in terms of the oil and the greasy foods and so forth. And as you can see, fast chain, those fast food outlets are rapidly increasing because people's lives, they don't have the time to sit down and prepare healthy meals. It's more convenient and efficient and to just run next door and probably get some kind of fried food or something like that. And that is part of it, because people getting caught up in the whole lifestyle and living. They're not getting time to take back and actually assess their dietary needs.
Get on board the train towards a healthier and fitter Trinidad and Tobago. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
And we do have some breaking news from Trinidad and Tobago football. The Soca Warriors have a new head coach, but more on that in our next newscast. Trinidad and Tobago joined the rest of the world in celebrating World Blood Donor Day 2013 as the Ministry of Health hosted a special function in Port of Spain.
Hundreds of citizens recently converged at the Queen's Park Savannah to recognize World Blood Donor Day 2013. The day was filled with a number of activities and live entertainment. However, the main feature was the World Blood Donor Day Walk, which brought together the young and not so young. President of Friends of the Blood Bank, Ms. Maria Youngchi, says the observance is meant to celebrate and encourage people to become voluntary blood donors. She emphasized the continued need for voluntary blood donations to help improve and to provide a safe and adequate blood supply.
The act of voluntary blood donation is one of the simplest, but at the same time, one of the greatest acts of love for your fellow men and for your country and for the world.
Acting Minister of Health, Dr. the Honorable Tim Gopi Singh, spoke of the significance of World Blood Donor Day and the important contribution of those who give blood around the world.
Around the world, millions of people owe their lives to individuals like all of you here and to those they will never meet. People who donate their blood to help others. But yet still millions cannot get safe blood when they need it. Today provides a unique opportunity to thank those special people. You are our special people, nationally and regionally and internationally, who have voluntarily given their blood to save lives.
The Honorable Minister urged citizens to donate blood as this act can help to save lives.
The WHO recommends that we should collect 1 unit for every 20 people every year. 1 unit for every 20 people. We are appealing, therefore, to all persons who are eligible to donate blood to do so. Most people are qualified to donate once you are in general good health and between the ages of 18 and 65, and of course you do not have any communicable disease. You all know what I speak of. And weigh more than 110 pounds. So many citizens of Trinidad and Tobago are very eligible to donate blood. And therefore you can become a voluntary blood donor. Remember, your donated blood could save up to 3 lives.
He called on regular blood donors to continue and for prospective donors to start. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health advised the Minister that the National Blood Bank would soon be opened beyond working hours, possibly up to 9 p.m. and even on weekends. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Thank you for joining us.